Sneak preview, not really a sneak preview, a preview of next year's project. We have acquired very inexpensively a Honda CB125S from 1973. It is in a very sorry state. I've kind of balanced the seat and the tank on it just to make me feel better about it. Oh yeah, and I stuck the rear mudguard on loosely as well, just to give it some form and function. But we have a very, very rusty fuel tank, which again in this light does not show up. See if we can get some light on it. Which actually might be a great opportunity to try the phosphoric acid on it. I am told with good confidence from a bike restorer around the corner that that's what he uses on incredibly rusty tanks, and it brings them up to a very usable standard. So yeah, the young lad, bless him, he wanted to go at a restoration. I don't blame him for that, but as is wont with young lads, they seem to think painting everything in black hammerite is the way forward, and in a way it's a shame because I know this lad, he is a nice guy, and when he first showed me the bike a couple of years ago, when he started the project, it was still in its original patina. So yes, it was a bit rusty, but it would have made a fantastic bike. Now as it is, everything is painted black, which means, I don't know what it means. I don't know what I'm going to do with this project other than sit and look at it for a few months, get the XL out of the way. I've vowed not to do anything on this until the XL is finished, otherwise you end up getting distracted. The engine apparently has had a bit of a rebuild. Now whether that's a top-end rebuild or whether that's a full rebuild, I don't know. I know it's had a new piston in it, but as I say, I would like to tear into the engine and make sure that that's all okay. I have tried to get hold of him to find out exactly how far he went with it, but as of yet I'm waiting for some news on that. Hopefully it's just the top end, which means taking that apart and just verifying everything's good and then putting it back together. I think the plan for this bike will ultimately be to get it running and on the road in its current-ish condition. I don't want to do any work on paint or frame or restoration other than what is necessary to get it back on the road. Pretty much everything is here with the bike. I have done inventory. The exhaust has been located and will be returned to me as soon as the chap who's been storing it comes up this way. I've done a quick inventory on all the boxes of stuff, which is that blue bucket and those two yellow boxes, and pretty much everything's in there. All the bits that have cost me a fortune on the XL anyway, so things like rear lights, chain guards, indicators, the wiring looms in there. I am missing ignition, the ignition switch, I'm missing keys, I'm missing a bracket for the ignition switch, and I'm missing the clutch, this light is terrible for this. I am missing the clutch bracket that connects the cable to the bike and allows the clutch to operate. I did find they are discontinued part, and you can get a lot of parts for this bike, but this is one of the ones that is not available at the moment. But I found one for a £5 on eBay, so that would be the first purchase for this bike, even though I'm not doing anything on it. Honest, I just happened to find it and ordered it. We're also missing a couple of bolts, and as I get into it, I guess I'll find more and more stuff that's missing. So yeah, so it gives me a few months, a bit of a winter to think about where I want to go with it. It's going to sit there and wink at me. The only things I've done to it so far, I've put the wheels on it and loosely fitted the tank and the seat just to get an idea of the aesthetics of it. It was literally a frame with an engine in it, and everything else was not on it, including the handlebars, which were. So yeah, so the project is to get the bike running, get it on the road, get it road legal in its current state, and then moving forward it's to think about what I want to do with it. I am going to be strict with this one. I think I'm going to set a budget of sort of 500-600 quid, or at least a finite budget with which to spend on this bike. So that may or may not include returning it to a period paint colour. I really quite like the blue and white version of this, and I really like the burnt orange and white The only thing is they're metallic, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. The other options is to do something completely different with it, and choose a different paint scheme that isn't metallic and will probably be better suited to any skill set I may have developed by then. But yeah, I think get it running is the first step. Get it running, something to play with in the winter months, and then hopefully by spring we can have ourselves a little 125 run around. One thing I do like on it is the seat. I just think it's absolutely fantastic. I had to actually check that it was plastic and not leather. It just feels so leather-like. It's original, as is a lot of the things on this bike, and it's actually in good condition. It's dirty. Someone's kept a paint can or something on it, which may clean up. But if it doesn't, I don't care. I quite like that. It looks worn, but at the same time in good condition. And do you know what? It's comfortable. I have had a sit on it. So anyway, that's a quick preview of what should be coming up next year, and I'm going to try my damnedest not to go anywhere near it between now and the end of the XL project. Oh, and this bit's for Andy. There is a steering lock on this bike. I wonder, where have I seen a spare steering lock floating around?